What is going on, traders? We got a lot to talk about in this video. Before we start, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get straight into it. So we got to talk about the VIX. We got to talk about the VIX, and then we're going to get into everything else because everyone's been asking me all day, why is the VIX pumping with the market? Why is the market pumping with the VIX? And I can't give you a definitive answer, but what I can tell you from my experience as a trader for about 10 plus years now is that usually when the VIX moves with the market, you're pricing in something pretty major. And what do we have coming up? What key event do we have coming up? We have rate cuts, right? So it's only safe to assume that altogether we're pricing in rate cuts, and this could be a delayed reaction where we're seeing the VIX break out, and then eventually the market will react to this. I gave you guys a price target of 16. It looks like we're well on our way to that target. After 16, I'm looking at 18, and then after 18, I'm looking at 20, which is right where this gap fill is. So I do imagine that the VIX will want to fill this gap somewhere in the future. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, we're looking at this falling wedge. Ironic enough, people tell me all the time that you can't plot the VIX, and I don't know. I just never had that problem. But right now, we're breaking out of the falling wedge. Again, the market could just have a delayed reaction. Maybe we're looking at a buy the rumor, sell the news type of deal, and then the market eventually reacts to the VIX breaking out. So definitely be careful. Definitely be cautious. If the market continues to pump, which it is currently doing right now, I would very much be cautious come that rate cut news on Wednesday. So we'll see. And so we got to look at the triple Qs here. And so, in regards to the triple Qs, I gave you guys a price target of 538, right? I said the triple Qs is like the only one out of everything that was really looking bullish to me, right? We broke above this much smaller rising wedge, and we pretty much mounted here. And so I gave you guys a price target between 534 and 538, and we pretty much hit 538 right on the dot. Highs I was looking at is about 540 if we want to be extremely greedy. And if we're talking crazy numbers here, I mean the triple Qs can go as high as about 548, 550, guys. If we're talking crazy. Now, I don't anticipate that to happen this week. I would anticipate that move to happen sometime after Christmas. Maybe we get that Santa rally that everyone's talking about. But how we get there is really tough to say. Maybe we just melt up and break out of here, or we see some type of breakdown first and head towards at least 530, 529 range, and then we just start making our way there from there. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at in regards to the triple Qs. I would definitely be cautious here. We're seeing the market currently gap up after hours. I mean, the ES just gapped up like a crazy amount. We saw the NQ gap up, but still, the fact that we're moving like this after hours prior to rate cut news, I would definitely be careful, especially given where the VIX is. I would definitely be careful here, guys. But enjoy your wires here. Of course, we're going to trade it. It doesn't matter. I don't care what direction the market goes as long as we make money doing it. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at for the triple Qs. All right, so be careful here. It looks like we're not getting much of a reaction for this gap up. We'll probably see it happen tomorrow, but yeah, I would definitely be careful here. All right, so we look at the SPY, and so I told you guys, as long as the SPY stays above 604, we're fine. Okay. It stays above 604. We're fine. If it gets below 604, you're looking at a move to 602. And I told you guys over and over, this breakdown is not convincing until we get below these guys and stop them out of their position at 602. And that didn't happen. We pretty much gapped up today. We headed towards 605. And then we got as high as about, I want to say 607. And so we can argue that there is a double bottom here. You have a bottom here, and then your neckline is around 608.5, 608.6. And so if we just so happen to break this neckline, I mean, the sky is the limit, and we can be talking about targets as high as 620. But until then, I'm looking at a short-term target of 610, 612, and then 614 if and only if we break above this level. Now, when we're talking about downside, once again, we want to give up 604. After 604, you're looking at 602. You want to stop these guys out of their position. 602, 600, and your key level, the main level you want to see the market hold or SPY hold is 598. If the SPY gives up 598, it's going to be domestic violence all across the market. Okay, so definitely want to see this level hold in regards to the downside, or if you're bearish, then obviously you don't want to see this level hold. But regardless, definitely pay attention to this level on the SPY. And so we got to talk about the ES. The ES just did a massive move to the upside. We just saw it gap up. And so if we continue to pump into rate cuts, I would definitely be concerned. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I would be concerned because this can easily be a buy the rumor, sell the news. Again, we got to think about where the VIX is. Unless the VIX breaks back into that falling wedge pattern that we talked about, which is very much possible, um, we could be looking at a delayed reaction where we're looking at a buy the rumor, sell the news type of deal. So I would definitely be careful. So what I would like to see for me to be more convinced about this move or feel more comfortable with this gap up, tomorrow we just see a breakdown and start filling this gap almost immediately towards 6,080, and then we start to bounce higher and start heading towards 6,200, which we talked about. I told you guys that the ES can very much see a move. If we're talking about a pump further to the upside or some Santa rally, whatever the case may be, we can see a move all the way down up to 6,180 or 6,200. So it looks like that's what's going to happen. How it happens is really up in the air. So I would like to see a breakdown first before we get there. But if we just continue straight there tomorrow and Wednesday, I would definitely be careful on that rate cut news. All right. I would be mostly cash. Okay. That's just me. Do what you want with that information. All right. So NQ gapped up as well. All right. So I gave you guys a price target of 22,000 and we destroyed that. Okay. We just absolutely destroyed that. So from here, we can see a move towards 23,000. As crazy as that sounds, 23,000. Now, I didn't plot the NQ. At least I thought I did, but I guess everything is gone. But regardless, I would just watch for a move back down here. I would like to see this be retested because I imagine we're pretty overextended after this gap up. So definitely be careful here. But right now, things are looking pretty good for the Bulls. I imagine it's going to be a great day tomorrow. But again, I'm just not comfortable. I just wouldn't be comfortable if we continue this move heading into the rate cut news. It's just scary. Okay, it's just pretty scary. But I'm going to enjoy it while I was here. Personally, I don't care what direction the market goes, guy. I'm not a perma bull. I'm not a perma bear. I don't care. As long as we make money, I don't care. Okay, that's all I care about. I care about the bag. All right, you should too. Instead of just trolling and being in my comments all day trolling, you should care about the bag, people. All right, so that's my thought process. So that's what I'm looking at forward in Q and ES. Again, just be careful, guys. All right, just be careful. I'm not a fan of this gap up and heading into rate cut news. Now, if it happened on rate cut news, then yeah, that would be great. And so we got to talk about Nvidia. And so in the Discord, what did I just spell? Nvidia. So in the Discord, we are in 135 calls for Nvidia. Yeah, so we're in 135 cost for Nvidia. As long as Nvidia holds 130, we are fine. We jumped in at around 130.8, so slight profit right now. But what I will say is that we got to be careful with Nvidia. I think if something was going to tank the market, it's going to be Nvidia. How it does it, I don't know. Maybe some news. Earnings is nowhere near here. So yeah, I would imagine that if something was going to tank the market and like really just give out back all these gains that we're getting, it would be Nvidia. So I'm looking at a retest back towards 136.3. Highest I'm looking at is 142. There's a slight fair value gap at around the 140, 142 range. So I would look for that move first, and then we possibly see a breakdown. Right now, we're looking at a rising wedge here, not a rising wedge, rising channel here, which is a bearish move. And then we're looking at a rising wedge here. You see the rejection here, rejection here, rejection here. So we got two bearish patterns just intertwined with each other. So I would definitely be careful with Nvidia here. But I do expect one more bounce. We're in 135 calls for Nvidia. Forgot the date, but they're pretty far out. So regardless, yeah. Really like Nvidia here holding 130. You can argue that there is a head and shoulders pattern here. So you will have your head here, your shoulder here, another shoulder here, and then your neckline. All right, so your neckline will be right here. So we're trying to break down, but again, as long as we hold 130, we give up 130 on Nvidia, that's when things get ugly, and we can start heading as low as about 120, 119, right where this gap fill is. That's pretty open right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. So yeah, that's what I would be looking for Nvidia. So I expect to bounce up sometime between tomorrow, Wednesday, and then we'll see what happens from there. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at in regards to Nvidia. So we got to talk about Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin, I told you guys over and over, I've said this multiple videos. If Bitcoin gets above 102,000 and holds, you are heading towards 108,000. And congratulations to Discord members. We are actually trading this right now. I told you guys in the last video or two that we are trading 75 calls on the Bitcoin ETF for February 21st. And so far we're in profit. We got in at around 57. Let's actually look at IBIT real quick. And so we got in at 57, right? Yeah, I believe like 57, 56, something like that. So we got in at around this before this breakout right here of this head and shoulder inverse head and shoulders pattern, and we gapped up. And so far we're in decent profit here. I expect to move above 62 sometime this week. Highest I'm looking at least for this week, is 65, and then from there we'll see what happens. But I expect Bitcoin to head much higher from here. Highest target I'm looking at least for the short term, is 110,000, 110,000, 111,000, give or take. But again, like I said, as long as we stay above 102,000, guys, we're heading to 108. We headed as high as about 107, 800. So congratulations if you paid attention to that, if you traded that, if you caught that move. So Bitcoin looks great. I have nothing bad to say about it. Inverse head and shoulders pattern. You have your shoulder here, head here, shoulder here, your neckline. You broke the neckline. Beautiful neckline retest. Absolutely beautiful at 103, 600, somewhere around there, and then it just went crazy from there. So really liking Bitcoin. I think MSTR is going to head towards 500 if it didn't do it already. I didn't actually watch it today, but yeah, I think MSTR, given the move that Bitcoin can potentially make, is going to head towards. It actually gave a lot of its movement back, but I do think MSTR is just going to. Actually, this is a retest of a neckline. It looks like. So let's actually try to map this out. It is, yep, there it is. All right, so looks like we're retesting the neckline here of this inverse head and shoulders pattern. So shoulder here, head here, another shoulder here. Tried to break out, failed, broke out again, retest the neckline. Yeah, I think this is a good buying opportunity for MSTR. We'll have to wait and see how market opens and how Bitcoin reacts from here, given that the market just gapped up like an immense amount. So we'll see. Other than that, that's really all I have for Bitcoin. All right, so let's look at Apple real quick because I talked about Apple, but I told you guys I don't have much for Apple until it breaks above that, what was that, 250 level. And so far it's doing it. Okay, so far it is doing it. It's not convincing. I will say that much, but it is mounting this level. You see it here. All right, so we broke above, and so far we're just mounting above it. We got like a nice little close above it. So we want to see a bullish candle for here from here, a very convincing bullish candle. And then again, like I said in the last video, I think Apple can head as high as about 260. All right, so that's what I'm looking at for Apple. That's really all I have for this video. Once again, be very careful. We had a nice little gap up after hours on the NQ and ES, but again, be careful on Wednesday with the rate cut news. I'm not guaranteeing that this is a definitive buy the rumor, sell the news type of deal, but given where the VIX is, I would be very cautious. I mean, when you're talking about the VIX breaking out along with the market, again, this could be a delayed reaction across the market, and who knows what can happen. So definitely be on the lookout for that. We can see some type of profit taking prior to Christmas. That's usually what happens prior to major holidays. We'll see what happens from there. But other than that, that's all I have. If you agree, comment your thoughts below. If you disagree, comment your thoughts below. If you understand the correlation between the VIX pumping with the market and the market pumping with the VIX, let me know below. Maybe I don't have all the answers. I don't know it all. I don't have a definitive answer on every single thing that the market does. So feel free to comment your thoughts below. Just keep it respectful as always. Discord link is in the description below if you want to join in on our trades. We've been absolutely killing it. Right now, we are in that Bitcoin ETF calls, so Bitcoin is looking really good. I do have a target of 110,000 on Bitcoin. Another thing that's very interesting. So I want to talk about SMH real quick. I'm sorry, so sorry. All right, SMH. I do this all the time. Okay, you should be used to it. All right, so 220 puts for February 21st, 2025. 1.52 million premium, very low premium, but the ask is overbid. The ask is 3,000 over a 900 bid. And so what's interesting is that this was alerted in the Discord as well. All right. Alerted in the Discord as well. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind that our AI bot does not follow unusual wells. It follows something else. It follows a different options chain. So this came in. Okay, this alert came in for us. And so we have SMH 220 puts for February 21st with a 1.02 million premium. So this lines up with what I was saying about Nvidia. I do not trust Nvidia, guys. I don't. Okay, I just don't. Nvidia is SMCH. I keep SMH number one holding. So I would be very, very careful, especially when I just told you guys there's like bearish patterns within bearish patterns up in this up in Nvidia right now. So something to be careful about. I don't know what's going to cause SMH to head all the way to 220 if it has that low. I can't say for sure if MU earnings has the power to do that. I don't think it does. It's very much possible, but I don't think MU is like is number nine holding, so I don't think MU has the power to do that. But very very much be careful. Okay, just be careful here. Again, I wanted to show you guys that. Feel free to look it up on Quant Data. Quant Data link is in the description below. Check out those contracts because exchanges are very much trading that 220 put for February. So we'll see. Other than that, until the next video, traders, you have a good one.